Hey everyone, it's Louise and welcome back to Along Came Mama. Today I'm joined by one of my longest friends and current mama-to-be, Megan.
Hi everybody.
I've known Megan since we were about 3 years old.
Yeah.
We were in the same kindergarten class, but we also found out that we were family friends.
Yeah.
We went to a family party and I was like, I know you!
So we're like family friends / friends.
Classmates.
Yeah.
Like elementary school.
Yeah.
And we went to the same university.
Yeah, that's how we reconnected.
We lost touch for like a hot minute.
Yeah, like just during high school because we went to different high schools. And then we reconnected
in French class. And then we had our partying phase together. And here we are.
I know.
Motherhood.
Here we are, next phase of our life.
Yeah. So you're currently expecting.
Yes.
Mama to be.
Yep.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah. It's all so new and weird.
Yeah.
I started feeling him kick more, but they're like ripples, and I was just like, what is happening? But it's all normal, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
it's all a part of it. I remember when I first felt Hunter kicking, and it was so weird. It just felt like I was on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But at first, I was just like, what is this feeling? I thought it was just gas.
Yeah.
I thought it was gas bubbles because you do get gassy.
Yeah. Oh.
During pregnancy.
Oh yeah. A lot, and it sucks because I'm a hygienist. And my fear was to let gas out while your patient's head is right there. It hasn't happened yet, but I mean like.
When did you have a feeling that you might be pregnant?
Like I missed my period, but it was only like a couple days. But I'm usually like
you're on time.
So I was on birth control for like the longest time, and then after we got married, I decided to get off it and just get my body like readjusted and produce its own hormones and everything again. And I really thought it would take us like a long time, but I downloaded this app and I was just keeping track of it just to see if my period would go back to regular, and then it did. And then I missed it a couple days. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a couple days. And then I remember visiting Jessica.
Jessica's our mutual friend also.
So Juan and I just got a puppy literally 1 week, and then I brought it to Jessica's house to play with her puppy, and then I was just really exhausted. I'm just like, holy cow, I'm so sleepy. I can just close my eyes and go to bed. And then I know from like other moms to be your moms
because you have a lot of friends that already have kids and cousins and stuff like that.
Yeah, they said like exhaustion is one of the symptoms. So then I was like, oh, I think I need to take a test.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe I'll just wait like 1 more week. And then Liza, which is another
one of our mutual friends in like our girl group.
Yeah, she was just like, you better take the test. I'm gonna buy it for you. I'm like, no, don't worry. Like, she's like, too bad, I'm buying it for you. I was like, oh my god. Okay, so I went over her house and then took the test. I was just crying. I was like, oh my god, how did I tell Juan?
So at this point, you hadn't told Juan that you were gonna take the test.
No,
obviously.
No.
And have you told Juan you had already felt pregnant or had those symptoms? Were you like, I might be pregnant, or were you just keeping it in for now because you didn't want to jinx it or like, get him too excited?
Exactly that. I actually don't really remember. Maybe I did mention it. Oh, I'm a little late, but
he was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So I didn't tell him until he got home that day.
That same day?
That same day.
And how did you tell him?
So I had a little felt board sign, and he came home, and it was really sweet and coincidental. He came home with flowers, which was so sweet.
Harold never does.
Harold, take notes.
Take notes.
So he was in the kitchen putting like groceries away, and then I had like the sign ready beside our puppy. So the puppy was like sleeping right beside me on our couch, and I was like, oh Juan, come look at Bear. Bear's our puppy. And then he came over, and then the sign was right beside him, and then he was just like what? He just like sat down, was like, oh my god, processing it. And I was like, I know, the same thing. I was excited, but also like, oh my god.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
What do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. And to top it off, what was also scary was because I knew my work contract was ending. So then I was like, oh my god, I have to look for a new job.
Yeah, it's like a triple whammy. You got a puppy, pregnant, job,
exactly.
like everything.
Everything was just like coming at me at once, and I just didn't know what to feel. But yeah, like a lot of emotions, very overwhelming, and a lot of mood swings.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I think that's just all natural. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
So many emotions, so many experiences happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to avoid feeling all the feels.
Yeah.
Like at once.
It's like happiness, anxiety,
nervousness.
Yes.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I already asked you this. So how did you and Juan feel when you found out? Were you like mutually excited?
Yeah, I think it was a mix of everything. Like, of course I was very excited.
Yeah.
But then my other thoughts came pouring in terms of like, okay, how are we gonna do this? We just got a puppy.
Yeah, I know.
And like Bear was only 5 weeks old, so it's like a lot to take care of.
Yeah, because they're still learning. You're still learning how to be like a puppy parent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then just thinking about like job. That's where my mind goes. Like I'm never always in the present, which is bad, I guess, in some ways, because I'm always thinking ahead. Now, like, okay, I have this going on.
How will I take care of it in the future?
Yeah.
Not just one aspect, but like a lot of the aspects in your life.
Exactly.
Like just thinking ahead and I guess just being prepared.
Yeah, and then it's not like I could have shared the news with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there was that as well. It was early on in the pregnancy, so it's not like
guaranteed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I know all those feelings because I went through the exact same thing. Like we were very excited because it's something that we both really wanted. But same as you, I was just like, I have all this great news to share, but who can I share it with? You want to scream it from the rooftops and tell everybody, but you know, the very first few weeks, there's a 25% chance you can get a miscarriage, and that weighs heavily on your mind.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta take extra care of myself.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a lot of pressure that you're putting on your mental.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep in such a very big, exciting, life-changing secret.
Exactly.
For long. And they usually tell you not to tell anyone until you're past the 3-month mark.
Exactly.
And then at that point, you're just like itching and trying to tell anyone.
And I ended up telling one girl that I was close to from my job because she was a long-time hygienist and she's a mom, and I was just like, okay, what do I do in this situation? So I had that support, which was good. At least I could let it out and like talk about how I was feeling.
I remember the first person I told because I was at work, it was my boss. I literally got the phone call from my doctor at 3 o'clock once I finished work, and then he was like, you're pregnant. I'm like, oh. In the washroom, I was like, okay. And I was like so full of excitement, and because I had such a good relationship with my boss, I was like, I'm just gonna tell her. First of all, who's she gonna tell? She doesn't know any of my friends personally, so she's not gonna be like, oh, do you know Louise is pregnant? I felt like my secret was safe with her, and also I felt like she could help navigate my next steps with work. And also she has 2 biological children of her own, and then 2 stepkids. So I was just like, you're probably one of the most experienced moms I know. So I'm telling you first, it was such a weight.
Lifted off.
Oh my god. So how has pregnancy been treating you so far?
Pregnancy wise, it's been a fairly easy pregnancy in terms of like I didn't really get morning sickness or anything like that besides the exhaustion. The only time I felt nauseous was when I was hungry. But the mental part of it, it's been a roller coaster. I had a lot of mood swings, a lot of down days. I'm just like right here talking about it.
It's okay. It's a safe space.
To deal with my emotions is the hardest part. For sure.
So it was more mental than physical.
The only physical thing that's hard about it is working. Like,
because your job is more physical, it's more demanding on your body. You have to actually see people face to face.
And and with COVID and everything, it's a little...
It's also an extra layer of stress because you're just like, you might have it, you know? Like, you maybe give it to me.
And there's also that guilt because I know some pregnant moms who have decided to not work, who are in my field, just because of the unknown and stuff, and I get that, but personally, I can't afford not to work.
Exactly.
And obviously want to be ready for this child, and I felt guilty about it. And I was like, am I being a bad mom for doing that? That's the emotions and the thoughts that like go through my head.
But I mean, everyone has different circumstances because the people that might have the ability not to work might have come from a background or a family or may have a spouse who makes a crap load of money and can maybe support, like financially support both of them for like eternity. You know what I mean? Like everyone's in a different situation, so I totally feel you. I worked up until my mat leave, but I took some extra vacation, so I had a month before. But there was no way I was gonna like take more time off. My mat leave itself is only going to be 12 months because personally I can't afford the 18 months. As much as I would love to spend forever with Hunter, it's just not feasible, especially living downtown or in Toronto or in the city, or even being a millennial when everyone screwed you over. Like, it's honestly, it's not feasible for everyone to be able to leave your job or to be able to afford an 18-month long mat leave. It's not for everyone. I commend people who can do it. If it works for you, I'm happy for you, but it can't. It doesn't work for us, our situation.
So I have the app called
What to Expect.
What to Expect.
Yeah.
And then everything I'm feeling that week, it talks about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you know? Like,
you know.
Like, are you
To the second. Yeah. And then they have those videos on the app.
Yeah.
And those like mini articles.
Yeah. I think it's fun though too, because every week I'll like see what fruit size.
Yeah.
It
So you're like, oh. And I don't know if it's the bump or what to expect, but you can change it from like fruits to like movie props or like
it's what to expect.
Oh, what to expect. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's nerve-wracking, but it's also very exciting because every milestone in your pregnancy, it's just something new, and it's just so surreal what our bodies can do as women.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Like I've heard it all before, where people say like your body is just so wonderful and magical. I'm like whatever. Like y'all are being so cheesy.
I know.
But then once you go through it yourself and you're like, I'm creating life.
Yeah.
And it's just like just so unbelievable. You're creating a life that's forming inside of you.
Hasn't really hit me that there's a human in there.
Yeah.
Like I know there's a baby. I guess once he comes out, I'll be like, oh my god.
I guess part of it is also because you can't see them all the time.
Yeah.
But I would get so excited every time I had ultrasound.
Yeah.
Even if it's for like a split second. You're just like little baby on the screen.
Yeah, you're like that's
inside me right now. And you see their little hands,
their
move.
feet.
The anatomy one was really fun.
Oh yeah. I felt bad for my husband because
he wasn't able to be there.
No, with COVID, you're doing everything on your own. But it was just so sweet to see the baby's little face, and it's like, oh, too bad, like he can't see it.
But you got the photos printed out.
We got the photos printed out, luckily. But I've heard some women don't actually get
We
photos.
didn't actually. I went to like probably 3 different clinics, hospitals to get different ultrasounds, and not one person printed a photo for me.
I'm surprised.
Me too. I was just like, I want the classic, like on the paper, stick it on the fridge.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I got like a lot of bad angled photos. But you know what? In the beginning, Harold was able to be in there, so he secretly recorded them. And so I'm lucky I have those at least. Like I have a video of like Harold recording the ultrasound, recording me getting the ultrasound. So I'm happy we have that. So it's sort of a trade-off to not getting the photos. But for the next one, I know for sure I'm gonna ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they'll print it if I ask.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, why not? I'm surprised.
So some fun questions. What is your current pregnancy essential?
Baby belly oil.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
Does your tummy get itchy?
It hasn't really been itchy, like maybe a few times, but I've been actually pretty good with it. So I oil it like in the morning, at night, after I shower. So it's pretty moisturizing, and I'm always wearing leggings that like go up to here. So it's been okay. It's only recently that it started to get a little bit more itchier.
Yeah, I think it's the season. It's like my skin's been dry.
Oh yeah,
just
winter.
super dry.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter what, you can't avoid it.
And snacks. I need snacks all the time.
All the time.
And it doesn't matter what it is. I just need a snack.
Salty, sweet, sour, anything.
Anything. But I've been craving sweets than anything because I love savory stuff. I love cheese. But now I'm like, oh, give me cookies. Give me that.
That's not bad.
McDonald's sundaes. I haven't had that
since
Which one? Caramel.
Oh my god, me too. That's my favorite. I love the caramel one. Do you have a self-care ritual? On my Along Came Mama page, I like to push self-care, taking breaks. I always remind people
especially on
twice a week. Wednesdays and Sundays. Sundays always like self-care, self-love reminders. Wednesdays is always like, take a break, man. I'm like queen of taking breaks now because I like worked nonstop before on like my side businesses and work and everything. And a lot of what I learned through being a mom and through my pregnancy was that you need to give yourself a break. No matter what, like you need to take some time for yourself. You need to relax. Because there are a lot of times where I didn't relax and it's taken a toll on me. As a mom, I feel like you can't let every single thing get to you because things will be frustrating. You're learning something new, you're with a new human being, it's a new family dynamic, it's a new home dynamic, and you're not gonna benefit from stressing yourself out. So what I always suggest is to like take time for yourself, take a break, even a 15, even a 5, even if you just go to the washroom and take a nice long shower with a playlist. Something. What is your self-care routine?
So I only started recently doing this, more so because my husband did it for me. He ran a bath for me, but like he actually bought bath bombs.
Oh,
I'm like, where did you get bath bombs? Like how did you know? No, he got it from like Amazon.
Oh, whatever.
But it's still good, which is nice after working
like
5 days. Yeah. I am exhausted. It always hits me Wednesday night. I'm just so tired. So Friday, because I know the next day I'm off, I draw myself a bath, light some candles.
Oh, that's so nice. Do you like dim the lights in the washroom?
I do. I turn it off. And then I'll play like something, either watch something on Netflix or I'll just
play songs.
Yeah. But like also when I get home, Juan's been like amazing. He does a lot of the cooking. Like I used to alternate in cooking, but now he just cooks.
Takes over.
I'm just exhausted.
I know.
And, like I come home and like Bear just wants to play and like he's such a puppy and he wants to like play tug of war and I'm like I'll do it for like 5 minutes and I can't do it anymore because I'm so tired. So I'll nap after work as well. So I'll like nap for like 20 minutes. So that's my ritual. Like naps after work.
Oh, naps are essential.
Oh yeah. Especially like right now, at least for me, my sleep schedule is not that great. Like I'll always wake up to go to the washroom.
Oh my goodness. I think I told you that. I'm like, you're gonna get to a point where you're getting up in the middle of the night and you're peeing every couple hours.
Yes.
Like no matter what, even if you're in like a nice sleep with a dream, and it's like really you're into it and you end up waking up and having to go, it's like urgent. It's like you can't wait.
So all of a sudden you're just like, I gotta go now. And then Mom will just push me off.
And you guys have one bathroom as well.
Yeah.
So do we. Like there are so many times Harold's in the shower, in the middle of using the washroom, like I have to pee. Like, cutting his hair, and he's like, okay.
I know.
Like he just
don't
knows.
lock the door when you shower because I'm just gonna go in there and pee.
So what's your favorite part about being pregnant?
Feeling him move.
Yeah.
And just knowing that
he's there.
And there's someone like I'm gonna meet him like soon. That's like my favorite part.
During my pregnancy, it was definitely every time he moved. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
And he moved a lot when I washed dishes.
Really?
Every time I'd wash dishes, he would just go crazy.
Oh my god, he probably likes the sound of like water.
I don't think he liked the sound of water.
Oh really?
Even now, when we like turn on the tap spontaneously, if he's sleeping, sometimes he'll wake up and he'll cry.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, oh, okay, sorry. What's your least favorite part about being pregnant?
Oh my god, the emotional roller coasters. I hate them so much.
Yeah.
And then I would often tell my husband, like, man, I just don't feel like myself. And he's like, of course, you're pregnant. And I'm like, yeah. But then like sometimes like
he feels a little off.
And then like, you know, sometimes you'll see other moms and they just look so happy and like they're like enjoying the pregnancy, they love it, and then it's like, man, I wish I felt that way all the time. Like I do, there are days where I feel great, but there are days where I feel
where you don't
really
feel so
happy.
great. Yeah. We were talking about this earlier where I was saying pregnancy is not all rainbows. And it may seem that way for some people because sometimes you're just seeing social media and people only want to post the light, bright, and airy photos and make it seem like their life is perfect and like orchestrated beautifully and posed and everything. But meanwhile, like behind the scenes, everything might not be okay. Yeah. I had one friend that was like, I loved pregnancy. It was the best thing ever. And then she was like, you just have to be a goddess and enjoy every moment. And then there was me in my 3rd trimester, like in bed with our broken AC. And I was just like sweating like a pig. And I was just like, this is pregnancy? Like this is so not glamorous. There are definitely those days where you just don't feel.
Yeah, and there's some moms that have nausea all throughout. And like, oh, thank God.
Like, I only felt nausea in the 1st trimester, and I told you as soon as it hit 2nd trimester, it was gone. Yeah. And then I'm thankful I didn't have to vomit. Like I never vomited once.
Right, you said that. Yeah. Like you've only felt it.
But like my nausea was like really bad.
You know, I don't want to have a birthing plan because like things can always turn out differently. And I'm a person who, if it doesn't go by plan, I stress out. Yeah. And I get more anxious and I would rather just kind of go with the flow. Yeah. And just kind of have to be ready with
whatever happens. Exactly. Has to happen.
I'm just trusting that the doctor knows what he or she's doing.
I feel like, that would be my best advice for giving birth is to not set your expectations too high. Yeah. Because I do know some people who had like a strict birth plan that was like, this cannot happen, like I cannot have a C-section, whatever. And it turns out they had to, and it stressed them out even more. Yeah. And it just caused a lot of trauma within their pregnancy.
During labor.
Yeah, during their labor. And I just like, I didn't want to put myself through that situation. When they found out Hunter was sunny side up and they were like, oh, you might have to have a C-section, I was like, cool, like just do what you gotta do. Yeah, that's all we cared about was that he would come out healthy, happy, complete baby. Yeah. That's all we cared about. We didn't care how it happened. Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't the long labor. I didn't have to have a C-section. Yeah. It just turned out well. It wasn't perfect. There was some tearing. Yeah. But like, I mean, it's only natural.
It comes with the territory, right?
It does.
You earn your stripes and your rips.
And your rips. I'm like, I don't want to think about that. We both have the unique experience of having to go through pregnancy and labor during COVID.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of moms can relate to this question, but how do you find support during such a time like this where you can't really be around family, be around friends, or be in contact with people as like easily as you could have before?
I mean, I just call or I'll message a friend or someone I feel like would give me the best type of advice for what I'm going through at that moment. I would love to talk to my mom about it, but I always find it's a little hard, especially traditional like Asian moms. So the main people I'm really reaching out to are coworkers and friends who have gone through something similar.
Similar situation.
Yeah, and then
and like your husband.
My husband for sure.
But it's a little different of like a dynamic when you're trying to reach out to like your significant other and then they're a man and they don't really know what you're going through.
Exactly. With one, I'll just tell him how I'm feeling at the moment, right? And then he'll just like let me talk, which is great.
Yeah, it's great because it's like you can vent to them. Yeah. But you can't really expect advice.
Yeah, I know. And then they try and I get it, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work out. I just get angry.
Like, forget it. Forget it. Let me just talk to someone else.
I guess it's the main support that I'm reaching out to. I know some people can talk to therapists and stuff like that, but I haven't looked into that yet. Nor have I felt like I needed to yet.
At this point.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for technology, especially at this time. Because I mean, if you really, really, really need to, like you said, all your appointments, or most of your appointments were online.
On the
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you want to see people face to face, you can video chat your friends. It's not the same. Yeah. But I mean, it's better than nothing. Yeah. So I remember that one time you had messaged me saying that you had watched a Shay Mitchell interview. Yeah. And something that she had said or discussed in the interview really resonated with you. Yeah. So she was talking about pre-partum depression. Yeah. Which is something that's real and not really talked about. And I was like, okay, we need to talk more about this too, because it's something I felt like I went through or I'm sort of going through. And there's not a lot of information on it because you hear about postpartum depression, but you don't hear about pre-partum depression. Especially my first trimester, I was just going through days where I was just crying and unhappy. And I was like, okay, what is going on with me? Like, I feel like I should be enjoying this pregnancy, but I'm not. And then there's like all these other factors that were affecting my mood because I started a new job. Yes. And then you had your puppy. And I had a puppy. So well, first it was like I didn't know if I had a job, and then I got hired at this new place, and I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, but like then you have to leave.
And then I have to leave, and I feel bad. How do I tell them? And I was just like crying, and I was very unhappy, and I didn't know if that was okay or right. So I messaged a friend, and I was just like, listen, I'm feeling overwhelmed and super sad, almost depressed, but not like to the point where
not to like a breaking point.
Yeah. But I was just really unhappy. Like I knew I wasn't myself. She was just like, you know, it's totally normal. It's actually a thing. And then I was trying to look up
how you were feeling.
How I was feeling if it was a thing. And then again, I barely found anything about it. So then up until recently, I saw that interview Shay Mitchell had with
Ashley Graham.
Yeah. And then they were talking about it. And I'm like, oh my god, so she went through it too. So I was like, okay, this is a topic I feel like would be great on your platform because everyone goes through their pregnancy differently.
Yeah, this is something that I tell Harold all the time. We were very, very fortunate during our first pregnancy, our first baby. And it gave me a little bit of anxiety because I was like, what if our next one is not the same? Because I know every single experience is gonna be different. No matter what, every baby you have, every pregnancy you go through is gonna be different.
For sure. I was just going through it, and then like I was like telling mom, I'm like, I really just want to, like, because my mom didn't know I was pregnant yet.
Yeah. Oh, right.
And I was just like, I really just want to talk to my mom because it's my mom, right? Yeah. It was like their wedding anniversary, and then I gave them like a frame of like the ultrasound. Yeah. And I was hoping for a different reaction, and I got exactly what I thought she would do. Like typical mom, and I get it. I love her so much. So when I told her, she was like, "Oh, what about your job?" Like that's the first.
And you're just like, okay.
I truthfully, I was like, I know, like that's exactly why I'm stressed out because like I just got this job. But it's also so early that you still know, but then this is something I want to celebrate. So that's the reaction I got, and she was just like, okay, well, good luck. And I was like
thanks.
So thanks. So that didn't even help me much.
Just added on to like the stressors and everything.
Fast forwarded, I finally reached my 12 weeks, and then I spoke to the girl that was training me at work. Me and her got like pretty close because obviously like I was with her most of the time with the training, and she was just like so supportive and happy. And I was like, okay, well, like what do I do? Like who do I tell the office manager?
Yeah.
Like I just started here. She was like, and she was great. She's like, honestly, this is life. Like
yeah.
you can't put life on hold.
Yeah.
I felt so good.
Like
yeah.
make you feel more relieved.
Yeah. And like just coming from someone who's been at that office for so long, or that clinic for so long, it was reassuring to know that like, you know, maybe they'll be supportive. I didn't want them to let me go. Finally talked to my office manager, and she was just as supportive.
Yeah, that's
and
so
good. And it was just like great. And my mom,
exactly what you needed.
Yeah. And but like, oh yeah, back to my mom. But like that same night, she messaged me. I was like, oh, you know, I'm really happy for you. You know me, I'm just being a mom, being worried. And I was like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But I was still, of course, I was still.
You felt a little like,
yeah.
How do you really feel?
Yeah. But then there's still be days where I'm just like, I wish I was happier. And I felt guilty for that.
Yeah.
I have lost a lot of interest in like a lot of things. I'm just always so tired.
Yeah.
Because my work is just so labor intensive.
It's physically demanding. And then you're like hunched over the whole time.
And it's mentally tiring because I work in the field of orthodontics, which is braces. So it's different from just cleaning teeth.
Like hygienic.
And then the expectations from this particular office is pretty high. So I'm trying to show that I'm a good worker, but like with mommy brain.
Oh
and
my,
like
mommy brain is the worst.
Yeah, like
I didn't think it was real because I thought people just use that as an excuse to like forget shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is so real.
Yeah.
It is so real.
It's so real, and there's no room for mistakes at my work, so there was that high stressor. So I have this other Instagram page, which I was like really into, my plant page, because like I love plants, everything.
Loves plants.
I do.
I feel like she's like rubbed off on everyone else, and that's why we have like a jungle in here. You can't see it, but we have a jungle in here.
But it's like with what I'm going through right now, I haven't been putting that as a priority. I'm just too tired to make my own post. I had all these plans to do all these things, but I'm just, now that like, especially with work, this job is actually full-time 40 hours.
Oh, good.
Which is good,
but it's demanding.
It's like being a hygienist, I feel like 30 hours is good.
Yeah.
But 40 is just like holy shit. And then like some of my plants are dying. And then again, the guilt.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's guilt.
Plant mom guilt.
Plant mom guilt and puppy mom guilt because
yeah.
like I can't play with him a lot, and I can't really go on walks because it's tiring and it's really cold.
Yeah, it's winter now. So it's really cold. I did some research, and like the risk factors that would lead to prepartum depression would be anxiety, life stress, like as you mentioned, like your job. A job can set anyone over the edge even without being pregnant. But like adding the stress of having to grow a baby inside you, huge. A history of depression like in your family, or social support, which as I mentioned to you, it's so hard to get social support right now because you can't be with people. The people you need the most, like your friends and your family, you technically can't even see them. It's hard to be able to go through that. Even if you just need a helping hand, someone to like babysit your little one or something. It's difficult.
Hard.
An unintended pregnancy, because as for you, it was a little bit of a surprise. For us, it was a huge surprise. Like, I was literally a week engaged when we found out we were pregnant. It was very, very unexpected. It was all
kind of just like hitting you.
Like shit. And then we planned our wedding in 2 months. It was just,
but it was amazing.
It was a good wedding, but I was like, holy shit, life comes at you fast. And then obviously something such as intimate partner violence can obviously add a stressor to prepartum depression. So there's a lot that can contribute to that, and some clues to determine whether or not you're going through it. Excessive anxiety about your baby, which I know I felt, especially now. I hate to mention COVID so much, but it's just the nature, it's reality.
That's what, like the reality that we're in, right?
Every day I would read, and it was totally my fault. I would read all these articles about COVID and the cases, if they're rising.
And you
like,
were,
it was like the height of like first wave.
Close to third trimester, and like there's so many uncertainties.
And so many unknowns.
And
I was just like, is Harold gonna be in the room with me? Am I gonna have to give birth in a mask? Am I gonna have to have a COVID test? Like, it was just a lot of anxiety. Low self-esteem, such as inadequacy about parenthood. Like, are you gonna be a good mom, dad? loss of pleasure from your activities, poor response to assurance, not taking in a lot of the positive feedback, poor adherence to your prenatal care. So maybe if you're like neglecting yourself a little bit,
I would say I wasn't really taking care of myself in the beginning because I was just going through it. I didn't know what was happening. And work, like there's no time for me to snack.
And that's so important. Like it's so important. When I was pregnant, I was on keto and I was doing intermittent fasting, and I was like, I felt so good about myself, and I was like, perfect, I'm in a good group. I only eat between these hours, I'm only eating these foods. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, wow, now I gotta flip my diet. I gotta eat carbs, I gotta eat fruits, I gotta eat when I'm hungry. So I think that was something I had to adjust to, was actually taking better care of myself and my diet. Not to say that keto is unhealthy, because I think a lot of people have that negative preconception about the diet, is that it's unhealthy. It's just a different diet.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a different, it's a totally different lifestyle, but that's just something I had to keep in mind, is that I'm not just taking care of myself and my physical appearance, I'm taking care of another human being. Substance abuse could be a clue as well, such as drinking, smoking, drugs.
Not gonna lie, like I do miss my like alcohol a little bit.
You're drinking? I'm not a drinker, so it's not something that really I hated about pregnancy. I was just like, cool, it's another day in the life of me. And or poor weight gain due to your diet. But I mean, like everyone gains weight differently during your pregnancy. That can't be like a true indicator. And finally, like thoughts of suicide. So that's obviously one of like the alarming indicators. If you're definitely going through that, you have to speak to somebody.
Definitely get that support for sure. I find that me just talking to you and like anybody just about it without judgment really helps. Because without talking to someone, if you bottle it in, you're gonna
that's like the worst.
Spiral. So
because I feel like if you bottle it in, you internalize a lot of your feelings, and then you're not really processing your feelings as well. Even to just let it out and just to have your voice heard is a big step.
It really helped when I would go through my little episodes of like crying, and then I'll just tell Juan, I'm just feeling this way, and then he was just there, so that helped a lot.
I'm not much of an emotional person. I don't really like crying in front of people. I hate crying in front of people. I don't even like crying in front of Harold, but I just had to do it. Like I just had to let it go. I had to let it out, because I didn't want to continue to feel sad and for him to be like, are you okay? And just like be like, I'm fine. But really,
honestly, letting it out helps. I'm already an emotional person.
She's a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini. And then to have my hormones even like push it further. But it's also something not to be ashamed of.
No.
If you're going through it, then you're going through it. Right? It's not talked about a lot, and it's normal. Don't be ashamed.
Like, and don't be afraid to speak up. As I said, I did some research. So it suggests that about 7% of pregnant women experience depression during pregnancy, and the research suggests that rates might be higher in lower to middle class situations. And I feel like it definitely is higher right now due to COVID, like due to the fact that your access to physical human interaction is cut to almost nothing. It occurs more frequently during the first and the third trimester.
Makes sense.
It makes sense because in the first trimester, you're just trying to process the fact that you're pregnant. And in the third trimester, I feel like you're processing the fact that you're gonna give birth any day now.
I don't know how it's gonna be after the baby is out, but I'm also looking forward to seeing how I'm gonna be
as a mom.
Mentally, where I'm gonna be at. No lie, like postpartum as well is a scary thing. I was telling Luis, like, this is the first time I've worn makeup in a while. Yeah. I'm behind like a face shield and mask.
And it must get hot.
It gets hot, yeah, for sure. But then like, I was telling her, I'm like, I always feel more like myself with makeup on because I just feel fresh and like awake.
Oh, energized.
Yeah.
There's something about my eyeliner that just makes me feel like me. Sure. I totally get that feeling.
Yeah.
So I remember getting ready for the first time. I just like underestimated all the free time I had before. Because for myself to get ready, it takes me like 45 minutes to an hour. But you don't have that time as a mom. I would have to tell Harold like, I'm gonna get ready now. And he just knows that for like an hour he has to look after Hunter. So it's just like it's a lifestyle adjustment. But we have like our own routine now, which is good.
I know we have to we'll figure it out.
You'll figure it. Honestly, y'all figure it out. Everyone just has to get into a group. Like you have your own schedule now, and then you just have to add a baby into it. Well, Juan's a good support system.
Oh, he's great.
You.
He's like the best partner that I could ever ask for.
I tell Harold that all the time. He just like fits into what I need to do. And I think having a partner or having been with him for a while has definitely helped the situation. Because now, like during COVID, because you're stuck, you're stuck with that person literally 24/7. We're literally home
together
24/7.
Yeah.
But it's definitely sped up the time. We've almost been married for a year now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
not even a year yet.
Yeah, not even a year yet, but it feels like we've been married for so long just because we're in such a good groove.
Yeah. But you guys are always in a good group, I have to say.
Yeah.
Even from like this, when Harold came into our lives.
That's our lives.
Into our lives, because like, hello.
hello.
I've known her forever. We've all loved Harold.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I just feel like having a good partner is so important to raising a child.
Oh.
Like, have so much respect for single mothers, single parents who just do it on their own and just find a way. But I personally don't feel like I could physically have done it, mentally have done it without a good partner. Yeah. And it totally makes a difference. And someone who's willing to do the 50-50 work with you. We mentioned that going to appointments, you're going through it alone. Yeah. Which adds another layer of loneliness.
Yeah, anxiety.
Yeah. I know during my first appointment, the doctor asked me appropriate questions regarding my pregnancy, regarding my mental health history.
Right, yeah.
And then they provided me confidentiality in case I needed to speak about it. Because I don't remember if your first appointment was by yourself.
All of them are by myself.
Oh, they're all by yourself. Yeah, because in the beginning I had gone with Harold, but my first appointment, they asked him to like wait in the waiting room, and then the doctor just talked to me one-on-one, and she was like, listen, if you're going through something, if you need to tell me something about your home life, you can tell me. Like, it was like really nice. I felt really reassured with them. And if I was going through something like that, I was like, wow, this is such a great service. You know, it's not something I ever thought of, because your abuser could be with you 24/7 because they don't want you out of their sight. So prepartum depression, mentioned depression is like a mood disorder that causes persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. It's the most common mood disorder in the general population. And it occurs 2 times as often in women than it does in men, which definitely sucks, especially if you're a pregnant woman, because you're already adding all that extra stress. And the symptoms for prepartum depression are very similar to pregnancy symptoms. So they're a lot harder to detect and recognize. Like changes in your sleep pattern, your energy level, your appetite, and your libido. So a lot of times you might just be feeling like, I'm just pregnant. This is the name of the game, but in reality, you might actually just be going through something and you don't really know how to like express that or how to reach help.
For me, mine comes in waves. Like it doesn't last longer than a day or 2. But I do definitely feel like it's something that I'm going through.
Like you definitely recognize it's not a normal occurrence. Like what should be happening in a regular pregnancy.
And I know it's not this, it's my hormones. It's harder, for sure.
The Canada website suggests that you should go to counseling. I feel like even just talking to somebody is a great first step. They could even prescribe you medication if you talk to your healthcare provider, but they always suggest to try counseling and speaking to somebody first. And finally, they always suggest to talk to someone. Just support from your friends, your family, your partner. I think reaching out to someone who can even just listen to you vent, I think the first step is just getting it out there.
And like recognizing it, and don't be ashamed of how you're feeling. Your friends and your family will always listen, and there will definitely not be any judgment there, so don't bottle it in.
I always told you, like, you can always message me. I tell everyone on my page, like, my DMs are always open. I might not always have all the answers, but I might have my perspective on what I went through, and maybe it's a perspective you needed to hear. Hope you enjoyed this intimate chat that I had with my friend Megan, and I hope it's resonated with any of you who are going through the same thing. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, alongkamemama, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.
Bye.